Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, good afternoon. Back on in our podcast. This time there are several narrators. Is Dina Mutiara.
Hello.
Adinda Nur Fajrani.
Hi.
Ellse Tertanti.
Hi guys.
And the last is Revidya, Syifa, Azzahra.
Hello.
Okay guys, in your opinions, we know the importance of community literacy in terms of tourism.
Many areas are known as destination tourism, but still not accompanied by the richness of the surrounding community. As the result, tourism potential around the area is not managed properly. The lack of professional tourism management as well as potential over-exploitation of the tourism sector itself. To overcome this problem, the Indonesia Literacy Host the community tried to invite various community experiment effort by instilling tourism goals and value to awareness and skills training. This is done so that the community can independent development region as the part of the tourism destination in Indonesia. Literacy is a person's ability to use the potential and skill in the processing and understanding information when doing reading and writing activity.
Other opinions say that the nation of literacy in individuals' ability to process and literacy is set of skill and abilities of a person. So in reading, writing, arithmetic, and solving problems in everyday life. So yeah, in other respect, the role of Indonesian Literacy House community.
Okay guys, what do you know about the literacy?
Okay, so as I know, so improvement of community tourism literacy, if we look at the definition, the literacy community is a group of people who are independently active in organizing literacy missions. So there are quite a lot of nowadays reporting in mass media and social media about the extending of the community literacy in several cities in Indonesia. So quote from the page inspiration from inspirationalfreak.com, several communities that are passionate about transmitting literacy in Indonesia, including the food book community, Tama Baca, information, and a lot of things about this information. So as the basic of education through someone's literacy will be able to organize information critically and effectively. So that's why the impact that can be felt in that some will have the potential to creating new knowledge. Not expectation with the problem of tourism, which basically requires a pattern of organizing information so that is government is making have positive impact. Apa soy? Oke, aku lanjut ya.
Ini dikat.
Iya. So that they have positive impact, both for the community as the management as well as for visiting tourists. Literacy become a variable importance in all lives, so of people's lives. So especially regarding equality knowledge in field of tourism management, which result in knowledge. The community literacy movement in this case, so was initially through community in the midst of society. With this, it is necessary to have patterns of cooperation between the governments and the elements community in developing literacy through various programs as collaborative.
I have information about the real literacy. In the area millennials like today, literacy is something that is really needed to improve understanding of the role of tourism in general as a capital introduction of culture and local wisdom that exists in each area. The high level of community literacy culture will greatly affect the welfare of their lives. By getting used to reading a lot, the mindset of people's lives will move forward and move out of the poverty zone towards a prosperous life with a literacy culture.
In my opinion, the lack of access to books makes the village community not yet enlightened about the benefits of reading. He said reading cannot make us rich if we do not work. As a result, they are more busy working and forget to read. But even more unfortunate is the location of tourism, which should be which should be the most viral place to be used as a strategic location for literacy, but is only used as a vacation spot, taking pictures and hanging out. Yet, when looking further, tourist attraction can be used as objects of literacy. Why is that? Because tourism is a gathering place for all groups, such as children, teenagers, and the elderly. There is no doubt that the literacy movement, like warm chickendom, is now starting to recede because the government cannot provide new. There is no doubt that the literacy movement, like warm chicken, is now starting to recede because the government cannot provide new innovations in improving literacy culture in the village. The low level of community literacy in the village is not a condition that was born out of a vacuum. None other than the failure of the state to carry out the function of educating the nation's life. Then the state is at fault. But why are the people scapegoating? If the state is serious, it wants its citizens to like reading. Yes, provide the widest possible access to the availability of books for the community. Build a library, reading garden, and so on in the village. Expand the circulation of books in the midst of our society, especially in tourist attractions.
Okay, next, so many attractions in the village, but only tourist attractions. Why not use it an object of literacy as well as tourist attractions? Really love, isn't it?
Okay, supposedly with the tourism in the village, the government should be able to think and give birth to new innovation, increasing literacy culture through tourist attraction. The village government has a very big role to play in inviting its citizens to cultivate a village, can be allocated for the construction of village library of literacy in the tourism attraction. Fill the library at each tourism location with isolation of books that support to fill the business of community tourism attraction. As a result, habits that used to be just selfish and gathering and hanging out are now weekly reading movement, even continuation of the national literacy movement. If we only wait the public awareness, the reading movement will not be carried out at any time. So the reading movement program even must be contained village regulation made the joint between the village government and the community in the tourism attraction.
Okay guys, I agree with your opinions, but my opinion is the village government has a very big role to play in inviting its citizens to cultivate literacy through new innovations created by the village governments. Moreover, its village funds can be allocated for the construction of village libraries of literacy and tourist attractions. Fill the library at its tourist location with collections of books that support to fill the business of the community in tourist attractions. As the result, habits that used to be just selfish gatherings and hanging out are now replaced by reading books and discussing. And then the village government held by weekly reading movement even as continuations of the nationality literacy movement. If we only wait for public awareness, the reading movement will not be contain the village regulation made jointly between the village government. And the community in the tourist attractions is the village government must intensively disseminate the reading movement to residents of the importance of literacy culture. This intended to open the public's insight so that they know the benefits of the literacy movement. When you know and understand the benefits, it's hoped that people's mindset about the reading culture can change to make socialism more effective. The village government can cooperate with the literacy activities. That way, people will view the activity of reading books as something interesting to do and get used to.
Yes, that's very interesting opinion from Pipit. So the extension of literacy in tourism object will be a talk for governments and course in positive assessment for visitors both from the origin region of or from outside who visit. So the literacy culture in tourist attraction will spread like a virus to other villages in giving birth to new innovation to improve literacy culture to tourist attraction. Then the innovation can be born in how to present village libraries in tourist attraction. Then the community, the government must work together and how to optimize this innovation. So ideally, the implementation of this innovation, the community and visitor will not only come to refresh themselves but are able to cultivate a culture of reading and discussion. So the village government libraries and the community must be really aware of how to be able to develop the benefit of tourist attraction as the most important place in improving literacy culture. The government should be library or hold various activities such as storytelling, and then there are literacy competition, drinking coffee, and together while reviewing books. So book bazaar, writing workshop. So by means of the village government giving books to each village community of visitor. Then every community and visitor is challenged to innovate in building a literacy culture in their family. One of the things that can be done in building a literacy culture at home or in our family, namely mothers can tell stories and read books for their child. So it can be very interesting and can build our
tourism.
to build our tourism. I think that's all, guys.
And then the important thing to note in building a literacy culture is how consistent the village government and the community are in improving the literacy culture. For example, while accompanying children to study, parents read books with positive energy and enthusiasm. Parents reading books will transfer to their children. When children see their parents love to read and are learners, they will easily imitate them. Not only that, when the holidays come, take all family members to the village library or to tourist attraction by bringing literacy culture while staying and reading books while at tourist sites. This step is a way to introduce literacy culture to both children and the community, how important literacy is to our lives. That way, they understand through literacy, they get a lot of knowledge that is not obtained from interactions in their environment. So from the literacy culture born from family or literacy in tourism attractions, the literacy virus will spread by itself in people's lives. When our society is aware of reading as a necessity, it will be easy to build a culture of reading and writing. The village government only needs to facilitate by providing village fund allocations for the procurement of books or libraries and making village magazines. Information and communication technology, literature, digital, according to statistical data from UNESCO, Indonesian people interest in reading is very high alarming, which is only 0.001%. That means out of 1,000 Indonesian, only there is one person who reads diligently. In research with the title World's Most Literate Nations rank conducted by Central Connected State University in 2016, Indonesia occupied the rank 16 out of 61 countries with low literacy levels, while the level literacy in the first rank is occupied by Finland, almost 100%.
This data shows that Indonesia is still far behind Singapore and Malaysia in terms of reading interest. Several factors are the causes of the low literacy culture in Indonesia. Increased use of electronic information technology. A. The development of an information technology causes a lack of public interest in reading books. The number of television broadcasts that offer a variety of interesting shows very capable of grabbing the attention of many people. But this is not accompanied with an increasingly attractive presentation of print media or books online massively. Moreover, reading activities require more ability, concentration, and literacy or language skills compared to watching TV or listening to the radio. This makes reading activities seem more difficult. B. The development of mobile phones and the internet causes a lack of interest humans to books. The emergence of advanced technology called mobile phones that offer very cheap package and communication are also one of the cause of persons' low interest in reading. It's because people often spend more time chatting on cell phones than by spending time reading. Likewise, with the number of communication programs that use the internet such as Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook are also able to distract most of the people of the need to read book.
Many families have not instilled the habit of the compulsory reading. In forming a child who has an interest in the reading of the course, it must start from the closest environment of the child, namely the family, because the children will imitate what the habit of their family members, especially parents. However, what is currently happening a lot is the parents, especially mother, who prefer to watch television, read books to their children. They often leave their children to watch television or play with the mobile phone, compared to having a better training reading habits in children who maybe it can be started by reading storybooks, so that even children more familiar with the TV than with books. Okay. The impact of low community literacy. First, a frequent problem in the understanding, mastering, and using the science of technology to manifest product that quality. Second, lack of insight and limited knowledge of the lack of a way of thinking a positive person, so that the person is easily influenced by various doctrine and negative understanding. Third, the lack of the interest in the reading result in a person creativity will not develop. As well know that creative mindset will be realized when the person development his or her mindset and is able to respond environment quickly, and this we can train using reading activity. With the creative idea, it will certainly make someone become more productive and provide benefits for himself as well as the people his surroundings.
Yes, I think that's a good impact of low community literacy, but in the other hand, I think there are still such as the impact of having sense of interest in reading in future will not be known. The least information, so that is difficult to improve self quality. And then I think with ignored due to unwillingness to increase knowledge and improving self quality with information will lead to attitude ignorance, and this will make the person close and busy with his own world and ignore the environments around him. And last but not least, I think someone who does not have a broad insight, then the person tends to will experience a difficult social life, because the person can communicate well because the input it has is not as much as the surrounding environment. If must have an attitude fund in the association, usually the person will be suitable to be invite discuss because they have extensive knowledge. And great impact of unwillingness to read of young people discuss loss of countries that loss of research assets and the contribution of the young generation in the progress of the nation. This is of high quality and has high productivity.
Yes, I agree with you, Elsa.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. So what if the literacy level of the community is low?
So honestly, it's actually rather fatal if a nation literacy level is low. People who are not literate tend to believe it's wrong information, hoax, and even like to humanitize others. People who are not literate means that it's difficult to understand real literacy. And in addition to not having the awareness to find solution to any problems that arise. So at least there are 6 fatal impacts of the literacy level is low, such as: first, the ignorance of society that is endless and continuous, and the low level of human productivity is the reason it's difficult to progress. And third, it is easy to stop education or still high rates children drop out of school. And what about number 4? What do you think?
And then my opinion, increase the poverty it even more with this pride, and then raising crime and thuggery at the cause of community disorders, and then with attitude that fails to select every information and communication before that is emotion and full.
Okay, next, from the importance of community literacy in terms of tourism, what do you think about the potential for halal tourism?
The Ministry of Tourism and Creative Economy has begun to develop the concept of halal tourism in a number of regions in Indonesia. Halal tourism can be an alternative for Muslim tourists to travel while meeting their spiritual needs. Through this halal tourism program, it is hoped that the tourism sector will be able to attract more local and foreign tourists. What is halal tourism?
Okay, my opinion, what is halal tourism? Halal tourism is additional amenity, attraction, and accessibility service that are intended and provide to meet the experience, needs, and desires of Muslim tourists. According to the Ministry of Religions, halal tourism is the provision of facilities from Muslim tourists to be able to fulfill their Sharia obligations at the tourist locations. In the context of tourism, halal tourism is the tourism that applies rules related of Islamic law of values.
Okay, I have a question, and then regarding halal tourism, are there certain standard? What about you, Elsa?
Okay. I think the standard of halal tourism is currently there is no internationally recognizing standard for halal tourism. Halal tourism is a relatively new concept. So in tourism studies, halal tourism is still related to the concept of Islamic tourism, such as Islamic center, and then halal friendly tourism destination. Many kind of example, such as like I say that. And what about you, Revi? In your opinion, what do you need to have to make halal tourism?
In my opinion, in realizing halal tourism, there are several things that tourist destination need to have. For example, the provision of halal food, supporting facilities of worship, prayer rooms, and ablution place to other Muslim-friendly service. The concept of developing Indonesian halal tourism itself is a tourism concept that aims to meet the needs and experience of Muslim tourism. This concept includes halal food and beverage service, quality worship facilities, clean toilets with adequate water, free from Islamophobia, Providing social benefits, Ramadan program, unique experience for Muslim tourists, free from non-halal activities, providing operation areas with privacy.
Okay, next, in Indonesia itself, what is the potential for halal tourism in Indonesia?
Indonesia has a strong prospect of halal tourism. According to Kemenparekraf, Indonesian prospects in developing halal tourism have been recognized by the world. 20% or around 4.92 million foreign tourists who come to Indonesia are Muslim tourists. This is evidenced by the many awards Indonesia has received related to the concept of halal tourism. In 2019, Indonesia was ranked first as the best halal tourism in the world according to the Global Muslim Travel Index, or GMTI. Indonesia also won 12 of the 16 awards at the 2016 World Halal Tourism Award in Abu Dhabi. Indonesia has halal tourism destinations spread across various islands.
And then, where is area in Indonesia that has halal tourism destinations?
Okay, Indonesia has a halal tourist destination spread across various islands. According to the Ministry of the Tourism and the Creative Economy, there are a religion that have the start implementing to the concept of halal tourism in Indonesia. Lombok, for example, Lombok is a area that has long adopted the concept of halal tourism. A number of the tourism destination and accommodation in the Lombok have used halal tourism in their service. In 2015, Lombok was named the world best halal tourism destination of the World Halal Travel Award in the Abu Dhabi. GMTI even gave a score of 76 for the quality of communication service in Lombok in 2019. Aceh, and then Aceh was the world best airport for halal travel and the world best halal culture destination from the World Halal Tourism Award. The number of the tourism destination with the Islamic nuance is also the main attraction for Aceh.
Riau Islands. The Riau Islands are also very potential to become one of the Muslim-friendly tourist destination in Indonesia. The icon of halal tourist destination in the Riau Island is none other than the Sultan Mosque of the Riau Archipelago, which is located on Penyengat Island, West Sumatra. West Sumatra has won many prestigious achievements in the 2016 World Halal Tourism Award. At least 3 awards were won by West Sumatra, namely the World Best Halal Destination, World Best Halal Tour Operator, and World Best Halal Culinary Destination. With this capital, it is not surprising that West Sumatra has great potential in developing halal tourism in Indonesia. Jakarta. Paragraph Sandiaga Uno recently also signed a Memorandum of Understanding, or MOU, with the Grand Imam of the Istiqlal Mosque. With this MOU, the Istiqlal Mosque will be developed as a religious tourism destination in Indonesia. The choice of Jakarta cannot be separated from the complete Muslim-friendly facilities.
Yeah. Okay, thank you for Dina and Adinda, Ellse and Revidya, for your opinion about the importance community literacy in tourism. And see you next time. And thank you.
See you.